Let's take a look at the following MyOpenMath problem. You are about to begin work on a swimming pool in your backyard. The first step is to have a hole dug that is 30 feet long, 18 feet wide, and 6 feet deep. You will use a truck that can carry 15 cubic yards of dirt and charges $10 per load. How much will it cost you to have all the dirt hauled away? There's a lot of information in this problem, but let me start with a visualization or a picture if you like. So the first thing I know is that I'm going to be taking and digging a hole, and that hole is rectangular in shape. It's actually a rectangular solid. It's 30 feet long, 18 feet wide, and 6 feet deep. So I'm going to draw a hole, and this is not to scale, but I'm going to label it so I have my dimensions set up. That is 6 feet deep, 18 feet wide, and 30 feet long. This is what I'm digging. Now, all the dirt's going to come out of this, and we're going to put it in a truck. And again, excuse my drawing. So, in this truck, we can put 15 cubic yards. So the truck holds 15 cubic yards. Moreover, we know that each time we take a haul of 15 cubic yards to the dump, or wherever we're taking it, it's $10 per load. All right, the question is, how much is it going to cost to have the dirt hauled away? Do you have a basic idea of where you want to go? My first inclination is, well, let's figure out how much dirt we're actually going to have hauled away. And how do we get that? We take the volume of our rectangular box or our rectangular solid. And volume is the length times the width times the height. So we're going to take 30, multiply it by 18, and multiply it by 6. This is going to tell us the volume of dirt that we have in cubic feet. 30 times 18 times 6 is actually 3,240 cubic feet. Now our truck, that operates in cubic yards. So we either need to convert our cubic feet into cubic yards or our cubic yards into cubic feet. What exactly is a cubic foot, by the way? So when I think about a cubic foot, I could write with the foot to the power 3, or I could write out cubic foot, but it's exactly what you think it says. It's a it's a cube that is 1 foot on each side. So a cubic foot is a cube that has 1 foot on each side. So a cubic yard, well, a cubic yard then has to be similar in nature. A cubic yard is simply a cube where it's 1 yard on each side. Or, if you like, every yard is 3 feet. So a cubic yard is actually a cube that is 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet. In other words, 1 cubic yard can be thought of as 27 cubic feet. Does this help us a little more? I think what it gives us is it gives us enough information to actually go on and solve the problem. Now, the way you go about solving it and the way I go about solving it is going to be a little different possibly, but that's okay. Remember, everybody's brains thinks differently. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to clear a little space and show you the way that I might be inclined to solve this. What's most important is that at the end of the day, we come up with the exact same answer. So I'm going to write down the important information, namely that I'm starting with 3,240 cubic feet of dirt that I have dug. And I'm also going to keep over here that I need 15 cubic yards to put over here in my truck. And each haul is $10. I'm also going to keep the fact that 1 cubic yard is 27 cubic feet. So I'm going to keep this handy as well because that's actually where I'm going to begin. 3,240 cubic feet. If I want to convert that into a cubic yard, what would I do to take these 3,240 cubic feet and convert it into a cubic yard? Well, I'd have to do the following. I would take the following. 3,240 cubic feet, and I'm going to multiply it by the unit ratio that 27 cubic feet is in 1 cubic yard. I put the cubic feet in the denominator so that the units will cancel. And so that tells me that in order to convert cubic feet to cubic yards, I simply have to take the numerator, 3,240 times 1, or 3,240, divided by the denominator, 1 times 27, or 27, and that's going to give me the number of cubic yards. So let's pull out our calculator. Taking 3,240 divided by 27 gives us 120 cubic yards. And that's not even an approximation. That's just an exact value. Okay, so I have 120 cubic yards of dirt that I have to haul away. Now, every truckload takes 15 cubic yards. Does that make sense then? In order to figure out how many truckloads we need, we would simply take 120 and we would divide it by 15. And that's going to tell us the number of truckloads. Does that kind of make sense to you? So we have 120 cubic yards that we have to haul. Every truckload haul is 15 cubic yards. So that tells us we're going to have 120 divided by 15, which is just 8 truckloads. And now we're getting somewhere. We're almost done. So I've got 8 truckloads of dirt. Each truckload, remember, each truckload is $10 per load. So what does that mean? The total cost then is going to be $10 times 8, because there are 8 truckloads, and that's going to tell us that the total cost to haul away all this dirt is $80. Let's quickly summarize our steps again. First, we determined how much cubic feet of dirt we were digging. We then converted that into the number of cubic yards. From there, we divided by the number of cubic yards each truckload would take. And then we multiplied that number of truckloads times the cost per load. We could have used some more dimensional analysis towards the end, but I just did some multiplication and division, and I hope it wasn't too difficult to follow along. As I mentioned, you may have looked at the problem a little differently. That's okay, as long as we all get the same answer when we're all done. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. That was actually really fun.